All right, let's do this. Um, let's first go to here where the scan quality is better. Um, Algox are at home in the north. Their thick white fur offers great protection from the elements, and their strength and intelligence. You know what? All right, zoomed in a little bit. Their strength and intelligence put them at the top of the food chain. They are imposing figures with 3 spiraling horns atop their heads. This feature they share with their distant relatives, the Enochs. Like their cousins, the Algox gather in clans, but these are split into one of the 2 rival ideologies. The Snow Speakers, who believe the divine speaks to them through their falling snow, and the Ice Speakers, who instead look to the ice growing up from the cold earth. The Frozen Fists are the elite fighters of the Ice Speaker clans in their war with the Snow Speakers. They have devoted themselves to divine strength of the ice and are able to encase their huge fists in layers of sharp frost to better pummel their enemies into bloody oblivion. The communion with the frozen earth also gives them unnatural stamina, allowing them to sow ice and destruction across the battlefield long after most warriors would have given up. 2 out of 5 complexity with ice and leaf. And it mainly goes around, let's just read the card first, and then read the, one really important card. Which, how is it not first? One with the mountain. At the end of each round, either before or after discarding all active bonuses, you may recover 1 card you played this round from your discard pile by suffering 2 plus X divided by 2 rounded down, where X is equal to the card's level. Gain permanent regenerate. So we only get 8 cards. But each round we can suffer damage to recover 1 card at the end of the round. So as you have a small hand size, the top of One with the Mountain will be useful in increasing your longevity in most scenarios. It will allow you to effectively only discard 1 round per round instead of 2 at the cost of hit points. So it starts at 2 health, then with level 2 and 3 cards it's 3, then 4 and 5 is 4, then 5, then 6, up to level 9 cards. Be careful when leveling up, as higher level cards cost more hit points to recover. You will either need to recover them sparingly, or have access to large amounts of healing. Consider bringing some level 1 and X cards with you, even at high levels. One with the Mountain gives you permanent regenerate, so you are immune to Wound and Bane, while also being able to remove poisons easily. Let's take a look. This, I swear, this has got to be the easiest mastery in the game. Recover at least 1 card from your discard pile each round, because you could use a stamina potion to get a card back. You can use One with the Mountain to get a card back. You can use the level 5 card to get a card back. You can short or long rest. Well, you can long rest to get a card back, but then if everything goes wrong, you can always just short rest at the end of a round, right? Because short rest can happen at the end or in between or at the beginning of a round. And so in short resting, it says at least 1 card while you recover all of them. So it's the easiest mastery ever. And then enter at least 10 different hexes with 1 move ability and cause 1 enemy to suffer at least 10 damage. That just requires so much setup. It's so weird. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So I have played one of these guys, but only 3 or 4 scenarios. I got to level 2 on it, and then my wife and I kind of stopped playing. And then I was playing again on tabletop with a friend, and he was the one who was playing, and he got to level 4 or 5. So I'm relatively familiar with what the fist can do, but I haven't played it too much. So perks, we have replace a -1 with a 0 disarm. That's very good. And that happens twice. Then replace a -1 with a +1 card. Less cool, but still, a good damage swing, important. Same thing with the -2 with a 0. So we take out 3 -1s, and we add 1 0. And then it looks like we can replace all 6 zeros. Rolling +1 shield 1 card is really, really good. I think that's going to be a really high priority. I think first priority has to be these disarms and then these rolling +1 shields. Replace zeros with +1 either elements. That could definitely be good. Maybe that's better than I'm thinking it is. Replace a 0 with a +2. Create one icy terrain tile in a featureless hex adjacent to the target. That's really good. Add a +3 is obviously good. I don't know exactly when you want to do that. Because I think we have like a lot of lower damage attacks, but we can like do a large number of attacks, so we can pull a lot of cards. Then 6 rolling heal oneselves is really nice. Ignore negative item effects is obviously really important. Whenever you enter icy terrain with a move ability, you may ignore the slide effect to add +1 move instead. Just really good. Whenever you heal from a long rest, consume either ice or leaf to add +2 to the heal to make it heal 4. And then once each scenario, when you would suffer damage, you may negate the damage. The problem with these perks is like I want everything. Like, everything is really good. Either you're thinning out minuses or you're thinning out zeros, or you get healing, which is really important, or a +3. I'm sure. What does the drifter get a +3? Does anybody else get a +3? Not off the top of my head. Okay. Let's get back into the game because there is a lot of theory crafting to be done. Now, the bright side with this class, we don't have a ton of cards to sort through. Let's do the retirement goal first before I forget, because I always forget. And I'm remembering this time. So 8167 or 8588. We've seen this. I get this 8588 one every time. So 8167. I don't have either of those, so we'll go for that. Earn 16 check marks. That's interesting. That makes me wonder if I'm going to want to use the Demon Gem, which lets you get your check marks even if you fail a scenario. Okay, that's fine. I have no idea what building that is. All right. And so I guess we took a look at the perks. We're going to have, is it 4? 1, 2, 3, 4 retired characters. So I'm going to get to start with 4 perks. We'll probably look at the cards first, but I know I'm going to take this one. Once each scenario, when you would suffer damage, you can negate the damage. And I'm going to take ignore negative item effects. And I want to take this whenever you heal, consume an element. Do I just spend all 4 of my freebies immediately? I mean, negative item effects is just way too good, and then negate just a free death-proof charm is just like, oh, did I get crit? No, I didn't. So, one with Mountain. We already looked at the top. Let's just read it one more time, because it's a very important card. At the end of each round, either before or after discarding all active round bonuses, you may recover 1 card... Oh, it does have to be 1 card you played this round. Okay. I actually thought that it was just any card from the discard pile. So it has to be one you played this round. That does add a wrinkle into things. I'm glad I read it again. 1 card you played this round from your discard pile by suffering 2 at level 1 damage. Whenever you don't have Regenerate, gain Regenerate. Then on the bottom, we've got Heal for Self, Ward, and Double Elements, which is really interesting. That makes me wonder, because like that's really, really good. It makes me wonder if there's any value in running Expertise Potion and just getting both of these effects. Because then you get both of your elements. You get to be warded for the following turn. You get to heal up any damage you take on turn 1. So like if monsters come up to you and hit you, you know, that could be a very good turn 1 with an Expertise Potion. So that's an idea. Cold Boulder. Create one hex icy terrain tile in an adjacent featureless hex. Attack 2, targeting all enemies occupying or adjacent to the tile. Whenever you suffer damage from an attack this round, after the attack, perform heal oneself. So it like makes you immune to poison, which is kind of cool, because like a monster attacks you with poison, and then you heal 1 after, and then you're no longer poisoned. Is this... the best we're going to get for ice corridors? Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. And I accidentally hit... Oh, okay, cool. I hit cut instead of copy. But it saved it. Okay. I was for a second I was like, I don't know how to fix this. But we're fine. So we make icy terrain, we get to set leaf, we get to heal anytime we get hit, and we get to do a whole bunch of attacks for 2. At 70 initiative, which is bad, but 70 initiative move 4 on the bottom is really, really nice. From what I remember, though, this class kind of runs into the problem of, like, wanting to go fast every single turn. Because, like, obviously this effect of whenever you suffer damage from an attack this round, you want to go fast. You want to go before the monsters to play that. And, you know, you don't need to get anything out of that effect to get anything from the card. I mean, just getting to do, like, an attack 2 onto 3 targets is good. And because of the way it's worded, you're attacking enemies adjacent to the hex. They're not necessarily adjacent to you. So we can dodge... Oh, it didn't give us the hounds. We can dodge retaliate like that. We make the hex next to us, and then we can target anybody in any of these hexes. So only 3 of them would give us retaliate, and 3 of them would not. Which is kind of nice and interesting. So I guess it's mostly going to be a late move 4. But we just need to be careful about not having too many late cards, I think. Or, I don't know, maybe I just need to find a really good late combo to be doing. Frost Eruption, attack 2, push 2 in a triangle pattern, so we can hit 3 enemies for 2. I mean, that's pretty good value for a level 1 card. And we get to create 1 icy terrain tile in any of the hexes, and make ice. But I don't think we can do any of the ability if we don't do the attack, so there have to be monsters for us to attack to do it. But that's fine. Once again, 61 initiative. At least this is a card, like this is an attack that you're totally fine with going really late and playing this. Just moving up, attacking, probably even not doing the push most of the time unless you need to ignore retaliate or you have something good to push into. But just, like, getting that icy terrain under them can be useful for some other things you do. Then on bottom, we've got heal 2, which is, like, okay. But if you can consume double elements, it's heal 4 bless, which is really good. It's really hard to know, like, how important that's going to be without playing some. Then Fury of the Mountain, so 23. We're faster, but still slow. Attack for 2, consume ice to make it attack for 4. When you suffer damage this round, suffer 1 less. And that's anytime you suffer damage, so that's retaliate. I guess we can't really be wounded. And it wouldn't be until... Okay, but if we attack with this card, we already have done the attack. So we already would have suffered the retaliate, I think, before we get the suffer 1 less. But this is a persistent round bonus. And it's just suffer damage, so it'll work with one with the mountain. So play this top attack, and then you can recover the other card that you played this round for just suffering 1 damage if it's a level 1 card. That is pretty valuable, especially like if you just have the ice anyway. Like attack 4 and make it cheaper to recover your card is pretty good. So that's a good use for ice. And then we have like a good use for leaf here with an okay use for ice. I think the leaf is more important on this bless because I don't know if this card's going to scale well enough to be playing it late game. And all of our attacks early game are so low, and we have a bad modifier deck that, like, what's the point of blessing, right? Like, blessing is obviously going to be way better when we're level 7, level 8. But are we still running this card by that point? I don't think so. Fury of the Mountain, very interesting. Move 2, retaliate 1, consume leaf to make it retaliate 2. I can't ever see myself purposely setting up the leaf to get 1 extra retaliate from this. But, you know, better to add on a retaliate 1 to a move 2 than not to, so. That's something. Encased Punch, attack 3, add +1 if the target is in icy terrain. So you would go late with Frost Eruption. You could do like Frost Eruption, Cold Boulder, move 4, attack for 2 onto 2 targets. Maybe push one of them into a trap and make ice under the other one, and then get an attack for 4 into them on the next round. I guess maybe if you did that, you would recover Frost Eruption, and then with your bottom, because you did Frost Eruption top on the previous turn, with your bottom you would heal 2 self-bless at 19 speed, maybe. It would be nice if we had like a move and set leaf to pair with Frost Eruption, like a late move and set leaf to pair with Frost Eruption, and then recover Frost Eruption and get the heal 4 bless while hitting the target who's in the icy terrain. It all seems good. Fastest card so far, move 4, jump on the bottom. Voice from Below, loot 1, consume leaf to attack 2, add +1 to all heals targeting you this round. This is after our regenerate has gone off. What good even is this? I mean, I guess if if you're doing a bottom attack and your bottom attack rolls some of these rolling heal oneselves, I guess. I don't know. It seems underwhelming. And then heal 2 on all adjacents. I mean, I know that I need party healing. That has been an issue with my party, is not having party healing. So maybe I need to run this just for that, but that's really underwhelming. Heal 2 on all adjacents. Sets the leaf, which gets us more healing on Frost Eruption. Piercing Pummel, attack 3, pierce 2, consume ice to make it target 2, and then game retaliate 1. So yeah, Pierce and Retaliate have pretty decent synergy, because like a lot of high shield things, like, you know, you do this into a Flame Demon or something, that Retaliate 1 can be useful. I mean, you don't really complain about attack 3, target 2, and it's very, very easy to get that pattern to work. And then adding Pierce on top of it is nice. 30 initiative is not that good. And then we have a very good bottom, but it's a loss, and we're basically a 7-card class. Move 3, jump, attack for 5, heal X, where X is the amount of damage suffered by the target, then make leaf. I can see myself playing this on my final turn of a scenario. But like, that's about it. But I mean, the top is a good attack, and it's our 3rd fastest initiative so far. If we're not running Voice from Below, which I don't think we are. It does give us a way to set Leaf in between rooms. So, like, if you set Leaf in between rooms, and then I guess you could recover it, and then you could add +1 to heals targeting yourself, and then Frost Eruption and get a heal 5. Ice Blast, we have another move 4. So I think we run into the problem, though, of if we have so few things that we can do, right? We get to bring like the fewest cards of any class, since we're mostly playing one with the mountain top turn 1. We're only bringing 7 cards to a scenario. Of the 7 cards that I bring, do I want 3 of them to be move 4s? Probably not. Probably not. I really like this lost top. I mean, attack 5, target all adjacent enemies. That's insane. But also, early game, this is going to be a level 1 modifier deck. Kelp can get use out of the Immobilize. But is it going to really be worth my tank's stamina to play this? I just don't think so. I do like move 4, wound something, but also I've got so much wound in the rest of my party that maybe Ice Blast doesn't come. But I do love the idea of Piercing Pummel loss plus Ice Blast loss on the final turn. Get to do attack for 5 with advantage, and then like 3 or 4 attacks for 5. It's a very, very good lost turn for a level 1 character. But I don't know if I can justify it. when I already have so many move 4s with so few slot cards. Now, I know that the guy who I was playing with, I actually argued for him to bring this card because we were early in our campaign, and we constantly found him playing this card, the heal 3 bottom self set leaf. And when you're constantly playing this card, if you only have melee attacks, then frequently you just can't really do anything. And so when you have Shard Launch, at least if you're standing still, you can get out like a couple attacks from Shard Launch. That was my argument for the card. Unfortunately, this is a really bad initiative combo. It does set Leaf and Ice, which is kind of nice to get both of your elements from that. Then the bottom of Shard Launch, we've got move 3 jump, immobilize one target and make it suffer 1, which like you don't really want to go middle with that. You would really want to go late so that you can immobilize them for next turn and then run away. But it's fine. Attack or all adjacent enemies suffer 1. I mean, suffer damage is kind of nice, but 1 is not that much. Create 1 icy terrain tile in a featureless hex within range 3, and then push all. I mean, I feel like you just don't really ever play the top of this. Maybe you play the icy terrain just to set ice for yourself and to make it faster to get to the next room. But you mostly just bring this card for the heal 3 self because you need a lot of healing to recover the cards that you're... Because like it costs 2 health to recover this card. So if it's costing you 2 health per turn to recover... Well, but also you have the regenerate, right? So you have to factor that in. So it's like it costs 1 health per turn to recover. So you get to heal 2 with this card net, assuming you recover something. But then when you don't, like you set this card up right before a long rest, so you don't have to recover a card, so you don't have to suffer the damage. And then it also sets Leaf, which gets your perk that gives you the +2 heal. And all of a sudden, instead of this being like normally it's a heal 2, it turns into like a heal 6. A heal 6 turn. So that's really nice. It's so hard to evaluate these cards without playing them. Freezing Shell. Shield 1, consume ice to make it shield 2. Remove any disarm or muddle you have and prevent the conditions. But that just feels so useless. I mean, it's only... You can only do it with Piercing Pummel. And, like, how frequently are you thinking, like, okay, well, this is my last turn of the scenario. I need to play Piercing Pummel bottom, but I'm disarmed. I just can't see... I can't see myself saving Freezing Shell to my last rest cycle, which is the only time that I'm looking to do a bottom attack anyway. So the whole disarm and muddle thing seems pretty unimportant. But, I mean, I do like move 2, pull in, and make 1 enemy suffer 1. I mean, it's not bad to just have a bottom that's making things suffer 1. Sometimes that's going to be more useful than other things. Squares cannot get element enhances. That would be really nice if they could. I could throw, like, ice onto this move 3, I believe. I believe circles can get an element. I would have to double check before I did it. Yeah, they make it really hard to enhance anything on this character, which makes sense. Man. Really hard to enhance anything. Alright, well, I need to lose one of these cards. What am I doing in the team? What is my role? Right now I'm level 6 and 9. Right, so let's just throw in two other characters. No, it doesn't matter. We'll just use my actual party. Um, 6 and 9 and 1. So this puts me at monster level 3 And then on +3, we're playing monster level 6. So average level right now, I'm at 16. So a multiple of 3 would be 18. So if I go up to 18 as my max level, it does not increase the difficulty. But I'm about to level on Kelp. So I think I'll start at level 2. And that'll give me a few scenarios before... Well, no. Yeah, I won't go up in difficulty until Fist hits 3 and Kelp hits 7. And then it'll be rough, but we can start at 2. So, I mean, I think I have to take Draw of the Bedrock because I have... I think, like, basically my best actions, or, like, some of my most important actions to do over and over again are going to be Frost Eruption and Primal Bellow. And those are bottoms that have heals that don't move, which means that I'm going to need the Swift Shoes. The whatever they're called. Not the Dancing Slippers, but the ones that I was just using on my other character. I'm going to need those, so I can't run Initiative Shoes. So I have to take this 10. I mean, you get offered a 10, you have to take it. Attack 2, consume Leaf to Brittle, which is just so good. And then also get Shield 1 or Shield 2 at 10 initiative if there's ice. That's just so, so good. And then the bottom is pretty interesting. Pull 3 at range 4. Like, in the right party composition, I could see that being really good. And then consume Leaf to immobilize and get Retaliate 2. That's really good. I mean, I'm interested in this Crushing Crystals. Attack 2, target 2, disarm would not be a bad thing to play every turn. Do we have a move and... It looks like we don't have any bottom ice generation except for one with the mountain. And obviously, if you don't have one with the mountain, then you can't recover this card over and over again. We get bottom ice generation here on Lacerating Eruption next level. Bottom ice generation to get the disarm. Like, have it already. Attack for 2 and disarm. Then recover this card and have gotten the ice. So that would be another... That would be a spot where, like, this +1... ice or leaf would be really valuable if you were playing Crushing Crystals and draw the ice, the +1 ice, and then you can just recover this card and do it again. And then getting to move and heal is very, very valuable. Luckily, I think I'll be able to do that with items, so we definitely take Draw of the Bedrock. And then I have to lose 2 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So definitely not one with a mountain. Definitely not Draw of the Bedrock. Definitely not Encased Punch, I think. Move forward jump is going to be too good. I think not Shard Launch. And I think not Primal Bellow. Definitely not Primal Bellow. I need that heal 3 self. So we're looking at 3 more cards to bring. I like Frost Eruption. I like the idea of, like, Primal Bellow 1 turn into Frost Eruption the next. Especially if I pair it with Shard Launch, so that I get both elements and I get the Bless as well. I like the Fury of the Mountain to have, like, my spiking, like, okay, I'm going to attack for 4, and then it's also cheaper to recover my other card. I like that. So we just get 1 more card. So Freezing Shell for another fast card that we can spam the bottom. Actually, I might just want this for the shielding, given my team composition. I might just want that fast shielding. Yeah, I don't need to be doing damage, and this card is kind of all about damage. And just where I am in the team comp, that's not going to be the goal. So it's Freezing Shell or Cold Boulder. And it's I guess, like I said, I've already got a move 4. On a really heavy movement scenario, I can get this to make it move 6 with the ice. But for the most part, I'm probably always going to have enough move with move 4. And this is a level 1 card, so I can always recover the move 4. I guess my question becomes, do I want 2 cards that are going to be setting, that give me shields? And the answer is probably I do. Do I have enough element generation for what I want? Because the main thing I need is going to be my like most important element is Leaf for draw of the Bedrock. And am I just setting Leaf with Primal Bellow? That could be an issue. So that would be a reason to bring Cold Boulder, so that I can always move into position and set Leaf. Because I do not... It's really, really hard for me to play Primal Bellow, stand still and heal, and then also get in position for draw of the Bedrock, right? So I think I'm going to want Cold Boulder just for that top Leaf generation, which I think means that I take out Freezing Shell. But I really like that pull, make something suffer. I don't know. It's too hard. So my goal in the party here, it really sucks that we only go down one difficulty. I mean, this is going to be insanely difficult. My goal in the party has got to just be to tank, because Prism can throw out a ton of damage. Kelp can throw out a ton of damage. And it would be very nice for me to throw negative conditions for Kelp. Obviously, the best one is going to be Brittle. So we need to find a combo that can set up this Brittle. So that would be something like Cold Boulder Shard Launch. Go at 70 initiative, move 3 with jump, immobilize, make it suffer, then attack, make ice under them, which doesn't affect all too much, attack them for 2. I guess I don't really get anything out of the whole suffer heal one thing unless something goes really slow and hits me, but then I make the Leaf. So this combo would not give me ice for the extra shield of draw of the Bedrock, but Cold Boulder could get a lot of attacks out. Cold Boulder could get me a lot of attacks out, and then if I do get enough attacks out, I could potentially draw a +1 ice. And then I don't know what card I recover between these two. It's probably Cold Boulder, but it could be Shard Launch. And then the next turn I do draw off the Bedrock with probably with something else. I could just draw off the Bedrock, stay still with Primal Bellow, and then set the Leaf again, and then recover draw off the Bedrock and go for draw off the Bedrock on the following turn. Maybe with like Frost Eruption to heal up some of the damage that I've taken. But the nice part about this combo is that I get... So this is a really nice combo because I can either like go late and set it up the turn before with moving 4. Go late, move in, immobilize. The next turn, go fast. Attack with Brittle and run away with my bottom. So I probably want to run away, not Primal Bellow, right? Because they're immobilized. But that gives them 2 negative conditions, and then all Kelp has to do is move next to them, which will muddle them. And then Kelp can throw on the Bane, and then they're baned and brittled and immobilized, and nobody's next to them because we win at 10 and 20 initiative. Or 10 and 10, right? So that's really, really nice. So that's probably going to be like my primary combo, because I don't have any other conditions. So I might want to run a Poison Dagger. It might be too important to be running defense, because I do think that defense needs to be a priority. So let's... Luckily, I should be able to get this top mastery really easily, because I really want to get some of these perks. I get one more perk, and we'll take out a -1 and put in a disarm. I feel like that's way too good to not take. And then we get 20 plus 7 times 10, so 90. We're prosperity 7. Yeah, we're 7. So 90 gold on purchasables. I really am gonna want... Oh, are the boots that I'm thinking of craftable? They are the Duelist shoes. Item 13 and 113. Dancing Slippers, Hide Snow Thistle. We can get that easily. And then... Kite Shield? No, that's item 35. It's in the 113th slot. It's a potion. What is 113? Expertise. Rock Root. Okay, we can make that easily. So I can get the Dancing Slippers, just not on my first scenario. I do think that those are going to be the boots that I'm going for. Oh, you know, I've been hesitant to pick up this Howling Ice Brooch on Kelp because it's like, well, I'm going to be getting rid of Infuser and then I don't have Wind. But, I will have Ice. This could potentially be okay on Fist. Consume Ice to get an attack 3, range 3 immobilize. Like, just an emergency situation when you need to defend against something. I think that this is actually quite good on Fist. Is it good enough to get it with my initial 90 gold? I'm not sure. What else do we have? Could go for Stunning Bracelet as well. We're much more likely to be surrounded than some of the other classes. Also, not opposed to the Deep Earth Brooch. Yeah, a lot of the jewelry's good here. Strategist Ring is interesting to be able to get one with the mountain on turn 1 without having to play it, so that you can actually play a turn on turn 1. And then you play it at the end of your turn, and you still get to recover a card. Ice Shiv could see some play when Pierce is necessary. What else is there? Jagged Sword is interesting. Poison Dagger is interesting. Shields are obviously good. Is that what I want to do? Do I want to just run a Tower Shield? I have no idea what I'm running in my helmet. At the end of the turn, if you moved 1 or fewer hexes during the turn, gain shield 1 for the round. That's very interesting with all of the standstill heals. But I do feel like movement is too important to just be relying on that. Is there any, like, really good use for Long Spear? Encased Punch? Like, not really. Not necessarily. Fury of the Mountain, a 2-target attack 4. Oh. But turning Draw of the Bedrock into a 2-target Brittle. Dang. That is a tough call, because that is obviously really, really good offense to be able to get a 2-target attack that brittles. And then have just either of my other characters go insane into that. I feel, at least early game, I think I have to do defenses. So we'll start with a Tower Shield. So that'll be 35, which will take us down to 55 from 90. Maybe it's more gold efficient to just do a Wall Shield. And I'm probably going to be suffering an attack for 4 each rest cycle, right? So probably not losing efficiency with Wall Shield. Also, we're already immune to some of the conditions, so we don't need to be blocking conditions as much as some of the other classes would be. Although Kite Shield most of the time was blocking like disarm and stun and stuff like that. But it's a thought. So that was 50 gold, so we have 30 remaining. So I could do Poison Dagger and then another 15 gold item. Oh, I can't do Poison Dagger. I'm an idiot. I just took a 2-hand slot item. Okay, so we've got 30 gold. Heavy Bassinet, immune to disarm, stun, muddle. It's a thing. It's a thought. Iron Helmet can't be crit. It's not bad. Is this one of the better Horned Helm classes? What about... Isn't there a pair of boots that do this too? That's interesting. Pair of boots that... If you move 4 or more hexes on your turn after the move ability, perform heal oneself. And so do I just go for move 4 jump every turn? Because then it turns my attack into a +1. The only problem with this is that this is move 4 set no element. Right? Which is going to be... Eventually, that's bad. So maybe I don't want my items to be... pinholing me into that, shoeholing me into that. Because if I'm just trying to move 4 every turn to proc the items, I mean, but it turns move 4 into heal 1, which is really good for the class. So I don't know. I do not know how to evaluate how important that is. I think it's just something that I keep in the back of my mind as these are items I could consider. I don't have the gold for either of them right now. We know that we can get some nice armor by just like spending some metal, so I think that'll be the plan for the chest piece when we get back after the first level. So helmet. Eagle Eye Goggles I don't think I have use for. I didn't bring the big loss card that's hitting everything around me. Iron Helmet is good. I do have the perk to ignore 1 damage thing. Do I want to go Strategist Ring just to get the tempo on turn 1? Oh, it's so tough. I wish I had enough money for the Howling Ice Brooch. I think I would do that if I did. Let's go, I guess, Iron Helmet. And then I don't think there's anything that only costs 10. The Trainer's Net, but my hands are full. So I guess I just have 10 extra gold. But we can't get crit, and we block some damage. I don't know. I'm not happy with Iron Helmet, but I guess there's not really much else for me to get here. Because I can't get any hand item. So maybe Wall Shield is a mistake. And I should run Tower Shield so that I can have something more fun in the other hand. Poison Dagger would be better with Draw of the Bedrock. Or, like, could be good. Because I can attack for 2 Poison Brittle. Which is good. Craft items. I know I'm going to want Duelist Shoes. During your turn, move 2, you have to end next to an enemy. Just really, really good to be able to play Primal Bellow and still do an attack top. What else here would be really good? These are purchasable items. We can go for the new chest piece that I just got. 112 costs... Oh, I think I want this Plumed Helm. When you're attacked by an attack with disadvantage, treat all 0 and +1s -1. I guess Fist doesn't have any disadvantages, but Kelp gives a lot of them out. Also, running a Master Scepter in a hand might not be a bad idea to get extra healing and stuff. Got a Duelist Shoes. Plumed Helm is very interesting for the helmet. So is Deathproof Charm. Those are both tempting. Anything else that's super good? Is this 112? No, that's 22. So what do I need to... Oh, 112 is going to be a potion. Is it going to be the... Do I not have it? Oh, here it is. Oh, hammer. Interesting. I will have that recipe after scenario. I'm not sure if I have it now or not. I may not have any Snow Thistle. Oh, I do. So I could, well, after my first level, I could make an Ornate Armor. Next 2 sources of damage gain shield 2. So that'll be good. Intricate Charm, I think, is kind of interesting. It would be like an offensive option. I don't know. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough to make this work. It just feels like I don't have damage output. But, I mean, the goal is just going to be that I'm very tanky. I recover a lot. And I throw out brittles to make my other characters stronger. Because, like, obviously Brittle's going to work really well with Kelp. And Prism is going to work really well with having a front line in front of it. There are so many items that it's, like, really hard to consider all of my options. Even something like a Crude Spear is kind of tempting, just to be able to turn my melee attacks into not melee attacks. Shell Armor is interesting. Nah, it's not going to be nearly... It's not going to be as good as Ornate Armor. Abyss Axe could be good in certain scenarios. Okay, I mean, I guess that's all I have. We can look at the other level up cards real quick. Yeah, I don't know what I'm taking here, because Lacerating Eruption, the move 3 set ice is really tempting. But Frozen Over, getting 2 brittles is really, really nice. And then it's interesting because I've got an ice brittle, but I've also got a leaf brittle, Withdraw of the Bedrock. 20 initiative is also good. And this attack seems good. Like, attack 3 hit up to 5 targets with wound. I don't know. Probably Frozen Over, but we'll have to see. Mountain's Fist, attack 3, ice makes it attack 5. If you kill the target, heal 3, and set leaf. That's just good. 16 initiative, and then the bottom also gives me more access to Immobilize. But 16 initiative Immobilize isn't that amazing. I feel like I would take Mountain Fist over Packed Solid, but I'm not sure. Attack 4 stun is... It's obviously really good. Level 5, I have no idea. I have no idea if I need to bring Preserved Fury or not. You can't recover it with one with a mountain, but if you have any element, you can use either the top or bottom to recover 2 cards. Which gets you spend 1 turn to get 2 turns. But it's any card, not just the cards you played this turn, and you don't have to pay health for it. So you can get the higher level cards with it. So that's really tempting. We get a 15 here. So this is kind of like what I was saying, where I'm not sure if I said it, but like you kind of want to go fast every turn. Because you don't have that much stuff that's like super good to go slow with. Like when you brittle a target, you want to go fast and brittle them on that turn and kill them before they get their turn because of the extra damage from the brittle. When you immobilize, you do want to go slow. You want to go slow to immobilize something. But most of this other stuff, like the Cold Boulder effect, the Frost Eruption effect, you want to go fast to play those. So we don't have that many reasons to go. We're not just like setting things up for following turns for future turns. We don't have like persistent abilities that we play other than one with a mountain. The only setup we do for following turns is setting elements, and it doesn't really matter what initiative you set elements unless there's a chance that they're going to get eaten. Thick Frost can give a nice heal, but it's a top heal, which is really nice, and you reduce suffer damage, so it makes it cheaper to recover your other card. But then you can obviously pair a top heal with a bottom heal, which is really good. Yeah, I mean, I have no clue how to assess these higher level cards, because I've never seen any of them in action at all, and I'm just not familiar enough with what all I'll be doing. I mean, that's a really good pattern. Attack 3 hitting all of those hexes. That's what, 7 hexes, and can muddle and can add pierce if there's ice under them, which I guess if you brittled them there would be, but you don't really want if you did like the level 3 brittle card. I don't know. These both seem really good. Move 5 jump is quite nice, and like you don't need it to be jump if it's move 5. Frequently move 5 will just be enough by itself and then make enemies suffer. But also like ward yourself and bless yourself. And like we finally saw a card, Mountain's Fist, where like that's a really good card to have blesses for, because like go for the attack for 5 into like an 8 health enemy and then just randomly get the kill and get the heal. I don't know if you'd be doing that. Also, this is move 2 set Leaf. That I think is very easily overlooked, but that's very good. Pair this with Draw of the Bedrock, like have Leaf already, pair it with Draw of the Bedrock to get Leaf to recover Draw of the Bedrock to do it again. Very, very good. And you ward yourself. Although I guess warding yourself if you're recovering Draw of the Bedrock is kind of underwhelming, right? Because you ward yourself and then instead of suffering 3, you suffer 1. So I mean, it's like a move 2. Well, and then you get the regenerate, right? So it's like a move 2 and then make it free to recover Draw of the Bedrock. So I guess that's probably good. Attack 5 push 1? Why just 1? Would it really have been too OP to make this attack 5 push 2? But an attack that generates any element up top seems really nice. And like attack 5 is obviously good, especially given that we have brittles. And then move and attack for 3 is very, very interesting on the bottom. And so now we're starting to see some muddle stuff. So maybe Plumed Helm would be okay. I don't know. I don't know what Gift of the Mountain does. Any element to strengthen yourself. At the end of each of your move abilities this round, perform attack 2, target all enemies adjacent to at least 1 hex you enter during the move ability. Perform the attacks regardless of line of sight. Okay, so you strengthen yourself, you set this, and then it'd be nice to play it with Seeing Stars. Attack a whole bunch of enemies that you pass on an attack for 3. You could play it at 19 speed with Encased Punch. Jump over, attack everything for 2 along the way. Seems good. I mean, this would be like a power potion-y card. Because you can hit a lot of targets with this, but it would be an AoE power potion-y card. Yeah, I mean, I don't know with these higher level cards. This loss is insane. And my friend was telling me Ember Energy Source with this thing to increase the range on this, to brittle everything within range 2. And then an attack for 8. That's crazy. But it's a loss. Move 3. Ice to shield 2. And then heal 5 with Leaf. Wow. Wow. There's like so much written on these cards. And my brain is melted at this point of the day. Attack 5 if you hit 2 targets with it, which like... Okay, I very much appreciate attack 5 target too. Ward yourself. All enemies within range 3 suffer 1 for each enemy that suffered damage with the action Strengthen. And it doesn't say you can't target yourself, so you can strengthen yourself with a bottom. Ooh. Ooh. Dang, a bottom that sets Leaf and strengthens yourself and an ally potentially. I mean, very easily. You could like strengthen your entire team as long as all your allies are within range 3. And then you set Leaf, and then you do whatever your top action is. Just no moving on that. Ah, those are both so good in 28-18 initiative. And then finally we get the Cragheart card. Create 3 1-hex obstacles and empty hexes within range 4. Attack 2. Target all enemies adjacent to at least 1 created obstacle. Leaf to make it attack 3 and set Leaf. That's so insane. I don't see how you could ever take the other card. Because that's so good. And it's so much fun. I mean, everybody loves Rock Slide. But Rock Slide at a fast initiative, and you also get to pull modifiers, and it's a level 9 attack modifier deck, and we saw that there was good stuff in here. When you're... Yeah, I think running like a spam attacky build sounds really fun. So bring down the mountain, maybe draw strength to get the strengthen with it. And then something like, you know, just on a different turn, like Gift of the Mountain to get the strengthen. So you got a lot of strength and self to go with your little tiny attacks. So the fact that we have 2 -1s in the modifier deck isn't really that bad, since we've got so many strength and selves and like 18 cards. 19 with the +3. I don't know. I do not know what I will be doing and how I will be doing it. I'm not certain that I'm going to keep these items. I may trade them out. But I guess that's that for now. We're going to go do the Runes of Solstice as the first level. I'm pretty sure I've played that before. I think it's split in half. And one half is like winter, one half is daytime. Or spring. Yeah. Yeah, so we get... there should be forest imps in here as well that didn't spawn. Oh, okay, not in the first room. Yeah, I've played this one before. Interesting level. GG.